welcome to the property news on Magic Bricks Now, India's first property business channel. I'm Amata Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. More trouble for Mumbai-based developer Kamala Landmark. Buyers in a commercial project unite now. Alleged cheating, breach of trust and delayed possession. Haryana becomes the first state to adopt the Uniform Building Code released by the centre early this year, gives a big push to ease of doing business, incentives for going green and special provisions for differently abled citizens. And fight for motorable roads in Mumbai takes an ugly turn. Repair roads or will kidnap senior Mumbai civic body official, says MNS leader Sandeep Deshpande. Also on the show, in a first-of-its-kind venture, IT capital Namma Bengaluru will have a women-only IT park in the city. Magic Bricks Now gets you exclusive details. Straight up to our top story, Team Modi 2.0 is here. More than 2 years after he took over as the Prime Minister, the NDA government has gone for the first big expansion in the Council of Ministers. 18 new faces have now been added for the industry. The big rejig is Venkaiah Naidu, who has been selected as the new Information and Broadcast Minister. Earlier, he was the Urban Development Minister. However, it is still unclear whether he will hold the urban development portfolio or not. Other big changes include Prakash Javadekar as the Human Resources Department Minister. Smriti Irani will take over as Textile Minister. Ravi Shankar Prasad will now take over as new Law IT Minister. MJ Akbar will take over as new MOS External Affairs Minister. Jayant Sinha will now take over as new MOS Civil Aviation Minister. Anil Madhav Dhave, on the other hand, is the new Environment Minister. Moving on, Mumbai developer Kamala Landmark is in the news yet again as another group of buyers took to the streets in protest, alleging cheating, breach of trust and delayed possession. The protest concerned a commercial property, Kamala Industrial Park in Charkop, Kandivali. About 200 buyers had booked 350 galas in this industrial complex and had been allegedly promised possession in the year 2012. Disha Shah caught up with these buyers. Listen in.
Close to 200 owners had booked industrial galas with the Kamala Landmark developer in the year 2008. In fact, buyers alleged that they had paid more than 90% of the amount to the Kamala Landmark developer in 2008, and the developer had promised possession in 2013. In fact, buyers also allege that it's 2016 and the work has been stalled. There is no work happening at this particular site, and the builder has been pushing the dates and not promising any one possession date. In fact, I am joined here by the buyers. Most of us have booked in the year 2009, and we were promised that we'll be getting the delivery of galas in the year 2011. But in the agreement was said late by late will be 2013. But till now, after 2013, we have made several follow-ups with the builder. We had n number of meetings with him and his representatives, but all has gone futile. Nothing has mattered. Even till recent, we had meetings, and when everything failed, we were forced to go to the Honorable High Court and seek justice.
And I have paid 90% money to him till now. And actually I am in trouble because I am a senior citizen, I am a retired man. Actually I have taken the loan against my flat, and my son is paying 21,000 rupees every month EMI for the same. So really I am in trouble.
We sold our flat and booked this industrial gala. We are paying even EMI of rupees 70,000 per month for 2.5 years, and still we didn't get the possession. It's very touching that we are earning so hard for our own purpose and we are not getting the possession. Till the builder is making promises and compromises which he have not given any fruitful reason for it.
It's the same story of everybody. 2009 up to 2016, all our earning has gone. We are middle class family and we don't have any earnings to even spend our livelihood.
We have bought our places to do something for our country so that we can produce some products and help our country, like a Make in India and all that. But nothing is happening. I don't know what he is going to do and when we are going to get our product. We are very fed up from this guy.
हम लोग का इधर 2 गाले 12 से हम लोग लिए आए, अभी तभी से बैंक का लोन भर रहे हैं। गोल्ड सब हम लोग का इसके बैच में गया है, घर भी मॉर्गेज है, फिर हम लोग अभी करें क्या?
Majority are basically small scale operators, and to invest in places like this, it's a toll on our finances, and all our hard money we have put in here. It's been 6-7 years, no feedback, no commitments. It's just time buying tactics he's using to extend our project and not giving any positions.
After paying 90% of the amount, we are being deprived of our livelihood and हमको गाला नहीं मिल रहा है. So I sincerely request all the authorities, all the social workers, political parties to come forward and just give us our galas so we can start our livelihood.
Magic Bricks now, meanwhile, has reached out to the developer Kamala Landmark for their side of the story. However, we have not yet received any response from the company. Moving on, the fight for motorable roads in Mumbai takes an ugly turn. Frustrated Raj Thackeray-led M&S corporator Sandeep Deshpande is now issuing direct threats to Mumbai civic body, the BMC. In a letter to Assistant Municipal Commissioner Ramakant Biradar, the M&S leader has in fact said he will kidnap senior BMC officials and will release them after every single pothole in Dadar is repaired. While Magic Bricks now strongly condemns such threats, the M&S corporator believes such extreme measures are needed for the civic body to take note. Listen in.
I have written this letter out of compulsion. One must understand. After making several complaints, after giving a regular follow-up on phone calls, complaining to the senior officials in the BMC, but there is no response, no action on the road. And the people from my ward, they used to complain me each day. In the evening, if you come to my office, you can see everybody is complaining about potholes, cleanliness of the stormwater drain, or some or other thing. So after a rigorous following for at least 15 to 20 days, I came to the conclusion, unless and until I take some extreme step, these people will not work. The system will not work. So it was not out of choice, it was out of compulsion that I have written this letter.
Post this, of course, what kind of response have you got from the corporation?
No, after my letter and after all the media persons started over these things, today Mr. Commissioner Ajay Mehta has visited my ward. My ward officer is on the road. For last 8 to 10 hours he is working. All potholes are being filled. Some stormwater drains are being cleaned up. Tree cutting is going on. So all the system has started working. I don't know whether it will work for a long time, but at least for temporary phase it has started working.
Moving on, Karnataka will soon be the first state in India to have an exclusive women-only tech park. The ambitious project by the government will come up in Horahalli, Kanakapura Taluk, which is about 40 kilometers from Bengaluru. What makes this tech park special is that it will be made by women for women. To tell us more about this one-of-a-kind project, we're joined in by the additional Chief Secretary of the Government of Karnataka, Ratna Prabha. Ms. Prabha, lovely having you on the show. First of all, tell us what is the progress that you're seeing on this women's tech park that you're planning that's coming up in Bengaluru?
The first effort we did was that we reserved 5% of the vacancies or the plots in the industrial areas. That is, we have about 159 industrial areas, and we reserved 5% all over the state. But later on, as we went on discussing, the women felt, why not we have a park exclusively for women, which is designed by women and run by women for women entrepreneurs. So this idea appealed to us, and in one of our KDB industrial areas, which is very close to Bangalore, a place called Haroali in Ramnagar district, we have identified 300 acres for the women's park. Out of the 300 acres, 100 acres we are developing in the first phase. So to see whether there is an interest amongst women entrepreneurs, we called for applications. More than 100 women applied, and about 80 of them were selected. Most of them are in different areas of operations. Some of them are in software, some of them are in food, some of them are in textiles, and some of them are in electronics and things like that.
All right, now the talk of this park has been going on for some time now. Also tell us, give us some perspective on when we can expect this tech park to come up.
So we are expecting this to be ready by November 19th, which is also International Entrepreneurs Day. We want to inaugurate it on November 19, 2016. And the land, which is about 100 acres, this is a KIDB, that is Karnataka Industrial Area Development Board land, and we are giving it at a concessional rate to the women. They may get it at about 25% discount of the normal rate. And then we have also hosts of incentives from the Karnataka government, like stamp duty exemption and subsidies for their investments, and a special nodal officer is posted to take care of their clearances, that is in the form of ease of doing business. This nodal officer will take care of all their clearances.
Also tell us, will this pave way for other women tech parks in other cities as well? And if yes, which cities will follow?
In Hubli and in Mysore, it has already been identified. The women have come forward. They had their district level meetings with their district collectors, and the scrutiny of the applications are going on. That is why I said this will be the next, and after that will be Mangalore, Belgaum and Bellary. In Mangalore and Bellary we have identified the land, but we need to still have a meeting with the women entrepreneurs. We will be going in a phased manner. But this year we would be definitely tackling, we will be inaugurating Haroli in Ramnagar district, and Mysore and Hubli will be somewhere, I think around March or April, they will be also ready.
All right, Ms. Prabha, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks. Now, moving on now, in a landmark move, the Haryana government has become the first state to adopt the Uniform Building Code passed by the centre early this year. The code gives a big push for online building approvals, promises FAR incentives for going green, and gives a fillip to better planned urban development. Now dubbed the Haryana Building Code 2016. This came into effect on the 1st of July 2016. Will this be the magic wand the beleaguered Gurgaon market is looking for? To answer this question, we caught up with Naveen Raheja, MD Raheja Developers, earlier today. Let's listen in to what he has to say.
Definitely, the attempt has been made to make things easier also, as well as to incentivize if you make self-sustaining buildings having lesser carbon print and more targeted on energy conservation, all these things have been incorporated, taking into account the current requirement of the long-term sustainability of the projects. So I find it is very good. It is very good. It is initiative after a very, very long time that these kind of things are coming to make things better. Power, we already know, is becoming expensive day by day. Even the government supplied power in our NCR, we are, for single point connection, we are getting at with a price which is more than 7.5 rupees. So, on the other hand, if we go for solar photovoltaic cells, that already it has come down to less than 5 rupees and 50 paise. So on one hand, our customers are going to gain. On the other hand, we are doing service to the planet also. The maximum damage which comes through delays is the cost of money. That is the interest cost, which actually delays not only deprive a customer of his possession. On one hand, he is bleeding by paying interest, and there is a cost of money. On the other hand, delayed possessions actually don't compensate for the rental value also. So that also gets added to the woes. So a faster clearance naturally will save that much of time and that much of money also. the FAR has also been increased for plotted development. The benefit actually goes to the customer. The land cost cannot be reduced, but increased FAR reduces the pro rata cost on land.
Now, budget homes priced at 25 lakh rupee and below are selling like hotcakes in Pune. Sales in this segment has now increased to 27% according to property consultancy Knight Frank. Ruchi Deshpande caught up with Shantanu Mazumdar, the director of Knight Frank Pune, and asked him how the city's residential market is faring.
The launches have dropped actually, it has dropped by almost 32%. But overall tractions have remained pretty steady. It has marginally improved over the previous half H1 of 2015. Overall pricing also seems to be pretty okay. It is at check. It is below the inflation in terms of the increase in the pricing. I would say in terms of overall market scenario, Pune remains to be the best performing market on a pan-India basis in terms of the quarter to sale, quarter of the age of inventory all put together. There is a change of policy that is taking place. There is a change in TDR policy, there was a change in TDR policy. Then there is a change in DCR norms, and also because of the RERA coming into action, developers are pretty conscious about it, and they want to be very clear in terms of before they launch any product, and they want to be very clear on the products and the process, how they want to follow it. All these things are going to matter a lot for them.
Well, let's just focus on the areas now. Which are the areas that have seen the most demand, and in which segment when it comes to the residential space?
So in terms of the demand wise, I would say overall the budgeted segment has done extremely well. It has moved up to almost 27% of the traction has happened in the budgeted segment, and these are basically the location which are outskirts of the city limits, and right starting from Chakan to Talegaon to Chikli to on the western side it would be towards Ravet, and beyond that it would be Sos and other places, and that's where the maximum number of tractions we have seen. In last 2 halves of the year we have seen 0 launches as far as luxury segment is concerned, but then the traction levels have been maintained. So even the health of luxury segment has improved a lot overall. And the products which are more premium products or the mid-segment products, that's where the pricing has played a critical role, because the pricing has actually not moved. And today what you're getting in terms of pricing is actually effectively a 2013 price.
Edelweiss Housing Finance, meanwhile, has announced an issue of non-convertible debentures worth 500 crore rupee. Now, this money is raised for the issue will be used for the company's home finance business. I caught up with the president of Edelweiss Retail Finance, Anil Koturi, and asked him about the company's fundraising plans. Listen in.
The issues is priced attractively with interest rates ranging from 9.5% to 10%. So this compares favorably with the fixed deposits or other issues of a similar nature. It's secured by the underlying receivables of home loans, which are performing and the performance of the portfolio is comparable with that of the rest of the industry. So I believe that's an attractive opportunity to invest for retail investors, and I hope they'll take advantage of it.
Okay, also let's talk about home loans per se. You said that most of the demand is coming not from the tier 1 cities but tier 2, tier 3 cities. So which cities is the demand coming from? If you could tell us also, what is your average ticket size?
Okay, so we cater to the emerging self-employed segment in the country. Our average ticket size currently is between 11 and 12 lakh rupees. So in the cities that we operate in, this is a reasonably large, comfortable dwelling unit. Okay. Coming as it is in smaller towns of India as well as the periphery of those smaller towns.
Little earlier you also spoke about NCDs sort of paving way for more branches in India. If you could just tell us which cities you will be tapping in.
Okay. So currently we are present in 47 cities. So 22 of these are in Tamil Nadu, about 12 of these in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. We have some in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Karnataka. What we will do is to open more branches to take our branch count to 75. This will be in Maharashtra. We will deepen our presence in Karnataka and open Rajasthan.
A couple of months ago, you also partnered for micro home loans. Home loans below 1 lakh rupee. Tell us what kind of response you've got for that so far, and have you moved beyond Kerala for the same?
This is also in line with the government's initiative of housing for all. There is unmet demand in urban India. There's a shortfall of 1.8 crore housing units, but in rural India that shortfall is far higher. So that's a large opportunity. So as we partnered, we are testing this product. We have done a few loans so far, and we will observe how the borrower behaves, whether we are able to meet his entire demand, or whether he needs some more money to take up his housing requirement.
Now, I also caught up with the chairman and CEO of Edelweiss Group, Rasesh, earlier today and asked him about RERA and other trends in the real estate market. He says BJP-led states will probably adopt real estate regulators sooner than non-BJP-led states.
I think it's a very big game changer, and as I said, the bankruptcy code, the real estate bill that has been passed, all these are structurally big game changers in India. Unfortunately, people have not appreciated, as you very correctly have said, about the real estate bill, because it has to be adopted by states and state by state. But all the BJP states will adopt it very quickly because they are part of the same government, especially Maharashtra, which has a very dynamic chief minister, and also Maharashtra real estate is very big. And the reason this will be a big game changer is because one of the biggest investment any household makes, any individual makes, is in a house. I think there was a crying need for a real estate regulator, because if you look at the savings of Indian households, the largest amount is going to go in housing, and it will continue to grow. So we need to protect that.
I also want to talk about REITs. SEBI recently came out with a consultation paper. There were a lot of amendments that happened. Do you think that is enough for that first REIT to sort of be launched by the experts? Of course, are telling us that March 2017 is when we will see that first REIT. Do you think that's going to happen?
So. I think it
also,
happen.
Are there any other issues?
I think some clarifications on income tax and all are pending, but they should also come, because at least conceptually everything has been cleared off. So I would expect the REITs to start happening. It will become a very interesting investment option, because for a retail investor, by buying into REIT, you get yield, plus you may get some capital appreciation in the future. And I think the market needs instruments like that.
Do you think big institutions will go before a real estate developer partnered with a private equity player, you think?
Yeah, I think it will be, there'll be a private equity player, and there'll be a financial investor who will put together this whole product and offer it.
On Brexit, now there's been talk about global economy slowdown, etc. But my question is to you is on the real estate sector. Will this have any sort of impact on Indian real estate sector?
As I said, this will actually in the long term become a lot more positive, because we will see more capital coming into Indian real estate, because India is still one stable growth story in the world. And the more you have things like Brexit and uncertainty in the world, India becomes more and more attractive. And oil price comes down, which also makes India more attractive. So India eventually benefits from all this.
Now, talking about RERA, or Real Estate Regulatory Authority, RERA, meanwhile, just got more real for industry after the government released the second set of draft rules for the regulator last week. In fact, even as states gear up with their own versions of the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Realty Inc. is busy preparing for what they're dubbing the post-RERA era. Kavita Krishnan gets us this report.
Last weekend saw Realty Inc. congregate in Ahmedabad for the Realty Plus Conclave and Awards. But even as industry took time out to honor their brightest, what dominated discussions was the impending rollout of RERA, or the real estate regulator, across the country.
You are all now the witness of this whole transformation, and a lot of things going to be happen. Our paradigm shift will be happening in coming years. Many fly-by-night operators will go away, but having said that, there are some good developers. There are many, most of them are good developers. They have to be very legal and document compliant also.
The recent set of rules released by the Housing Ministry calls for developers to be compliant with a whole host of rules and make disclosures under at least 60 different heads. While industry admits this will bring in much needed transparency in the sector, they are also questioning the omission of the government authorities from RERA. Another big concern is the 70% escrow limit that developers will have to maintain for every project. Industry is hinting that this could bring black money back into the system.
The minute we say 70% escrow and everything is escrowed, the developers' equity will have to be high. So either the fund will have to step in or the developer has to put in his own funds. And because of RERA, the pre-sale is now not allowed in any form. I cannot raise deposits, I can't take as an advance. Nothing is possible now. So possibly we'll find a method to, if somebody would invest in terms of cash, maybe that could come back.
Other big changes that developers are predicting: a shakeout in the system which will see small-time developers and brokers leave the business, and fewer joint development deals as landowners will shy away from compliance. But for industry, the big hope is that RERA will bring the buyer back into the market.
In this act, because there will be a lot of litigations from both sides, and then a practical approach will prevail, and the regulator will keep, the state level regulator in each state, depending on what the hardships are there to the both sides, they will continue to, and I hope so, they will continue to amend them to bring more transparency to the industry and bring that faith back which the builders have lost for the consumers.
One thing that industry does agree on, however, is that RERA will compel developers to work towards a system where they will focus on fewer projects and ensure completion, rather than keep launching new projects, which should be good news for buyers. In Ahmedabad, Kavita Krishnan, Magic Bricks Now.
With that, we've completely run out of time here on the Property News on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magic Bricks Now.